if you're new to MotoGP 20 game and you're having such a hard time to get a grip and unable to ride like you would like to, and having a lot of fun, and probably these kind of crashes happen to you every now and then, or maybe a lot, well guys, stick around. I'm gonna be sharing some good tips and how I set up my bike in order to help you guys out. So don't quit the game yet. Tip number one, guys, riding style. I notice that a lot of guys just pick up the game and just want to ride. Which is fine, but to be able to extract the maximum and to see the potential of how fast you can go in this game, you need to explore the difference between the riding style that matches how you ride in the game. So you have a couple of different riding style. First off, Valentino style balanced, and you have Quartararo style, Marc Marquez, Vinales, Dovizioso, and I think old school as well. In order to change your riding style in the game, you need to first log in and go to customization, rider, scroll down to the bottom, and you will see at the bottom there riding style. Exploring this riding style to suit your need can significantly improve your lap time, and I mean like half a second per lap or even up to a second per lap, depending on how good you are on this track and what kind of bike you're using, and also how your setup is put together and how you're able to ride smooth in the game. My go-to riding style is, first of all, Marquez style body out, and Quartararo style, I think, shoulder out. Alright guys, now that we have riding style out of the way, this brings me up to my second tips in the game, and that is the difference between the bikes available to you to use in the game. Alright, so you've got 6 different manufacturers in the game, and to begin with is Honda, and you got Ducati, you got Yamaha, you've got Suzuki, you've got KTM, and last but not the least, Aprilia. As a newbie to MotoGP 20 game franchise, I would recommend you going for like either Yamaha or Suzuki. These 2 bikes are much easier to ride on the limit and are much easier to learn how the physics of the game work. And on top of that, you can get a setup for this bike much quicker compared to like Honda and also Ducati, KTM, and Aprilia, and so on. Both Yamaha and Suzuki have got inlines 4 engine, and in terms of drivability and also flexibility, they are just much more better to manage on the limit compared to like Ducati, Honda, and also KTM. Actually, KTM is a friendly bike as well, and Aprilia as well, but Aprilia just lacking in power when you initially start the game. You need to really work hard and specifically tune every component of the bike and set up to be able to get quicker, and that's the reason why I just recommend Yamaha or Suzuki. If you go with those 2 bikes, you will you can be quick out of the box and also very consistent compared to like Honda and Ducati. And Ducati is actually a fun bike to ride, but you need a really good setup, otherwise man, you will get frustrated very quickly, and Ducati is prone to have a understeer, which can massively affect your corner speed and your lap time. Tip number 3, guys, setting up the bike. I got this question a lot from people asking me why and how do I set up my bike this way, or using maybe sometimes I use a medium rear soft front, or soft rear medium front, to be able to set a competitive time. And yeah, it's totally down to your preference and how you ride, and how much feeling you go for the front end of the bike, because the front end of the bike in this game is very delicate and you can easily lost it. So setting up your bike is totally down to you. I always go to the track I want to set up my bike on and just kind of think about, okay, is the track bumpy? What's going on in this corner? What kind of gear do I need? Maybe how should I approach this corner? Sacrifice my entry to gain a better exit, or sacrifice my exit to gain a better entry, vice versa. So obviously one of the components you will look at when you're about to set up your bike and go for a hot lap are the tire compound. You have in this game soft, medium, and hard. And soft initially give you the bite, and it's much more grippier, but that doesn't always translate to a quicker lap. I will get to that later in the video. So as you can see on the video right now, I'm showing you my base setup that I use on every track to get an initial feel for the track and to get a idea of okay, what do I need to improve, where do I need to improve, where do I need to dig deeper and find more time, and do I need to adjust my gear ratio, brake balance, or the brake disc, all that kind of stuff. So that's what you're seeing on the screen at the moment. If you've seen a couple of my videos before, you will see that I occasionally use a front medium soft rear or vice versa to do a hot lap. I mean, using a front medium gives you a lot of stability, especially on high speed corner, and the bike tends to turn much better. And I mean, that's personal preference, to be honest. A lot of guys use soft combination to do hot lap, but I think I'm one of the few guys that uses hard or medium front or rear to do hot lap, and and be quick with it. Using full front preload setup can make the bike turn better into corners, especially a very low speed corner. But keep in mind that the bike can also understeer at a certain tracks. Both compression rear as usually set that to the lowest, because you don't really feel a lot in it, except for when the track is very bumpy, like maybe Austin. Then you can feel a lot of movement at the rear, and that can prompt you oversteer. And also the spring hardness, I usually set it up to the lowest for most of the track, especially if the track is smooth. But once more, at a much rougher track like Austin, I usually put it way down in order to have a bit more stable rear end. Moving on to steering adjustment, steering inclination and trail. Explain the behavior of the bike on a lean angle or on a less lean angle. When you have a bike that lean very much, like maybe 60 degree, like Mark Marquez is doing in MotoGP, then you have a better corner speed. But when you have a bike that lean less, then you have a much more stability on the front end, and you also have much more stability on the braking. Alright guys, moving on to gearing. Having a shorter gear bike will definitely help with acceleration, also from the corner and also from the standstill. But keep in mind that your bike is prone to wheelie as well, and also it is more sensitive on when you apply the gas and you hit a bump or something like that. The bike can be wheel spinning, and the bike will be difficult to manage when on a lean angle to a corner, or maybe especially when your rear tire are going down or degrading after a couple of laps. So keep that in mind. The gear ratio is down to you and how you want to ride, and what kind of track you are on, and what you are trying to achieve in combination with the setup you're using as well. So it's something you need to explore and just ride around maybe a couple of laps to feel what kind of gearing ratio really suits how I want to ride, in order to get more competitive online, or in order to be much faster on a single lap. The brakes are very simple, guys. You've got for the front end 340 and also 320mm front disc. For the rear, you've got 200 and also 220mm rear disc. However, when you're doing an hot lap or doing a race and you tend to be a little bit too aggressive on the brake, you might do a stoppie when you are using 340mm front brake. I usually use 320 and 200 or 220mm combination when I do race or do a hot lap. In the rain, I will recommend you using 320mm front brake. Just give you a little more feel and a bit more modularity to be safe. Tip number 4, braking and downshifting while approaching a bend. For people that use a pro physics setup, this is very, very important, because when you are too aggressive, you cause a lot of movement in the bike, and that can result into understeer or oversteer, and can wash your front end out or flip you over because you're just way too aggressive downshifting, especially when you're on a very extreme lean angle. My tip on braking zone is try to maintain a lean angle while you are approaching a bend, and also while approaching a bend, don't get too aggressive on downshifting. Shift down to click and try to feel what the front end is trying to do. And I would advise you to use your rear brake less. Don't always use your rear brake, because that rear brake can cause even your front to wash out too quickly, or maybe get you a massive understeer on a low speed during a corner. It may sound a bit kind of vague to you at the moment, but I promise you, if you go out there and just try to ride around and use the tips I give from this video, and try to use my base setup, just have a feel for the bike, you will get it. I'm definitely sure about that. So yeah, it takes a lot of practice, but if you're a diehard fan like me, I promise you, you will get there and you'll be quick. My final tip for this video is, guys, try to do the career mode. Career mode really give you an in-depth in how to tune your bike up and what to research, and also what to develop. And from doing that, you will get a better experience, and you also able to use the bike you use in the career mode to do a hot lap or use it to race online. And when you out develop or fully develop the bike, you will get the benefit of it, and you will definitely be quick. Alright guys, this will wrap it up for this video. I hope you do enjoy the video, and I hope these tips and setup tricks I give you will help you out. If it does, please consider subscribing to my channel, hit that like button, and also comment down below and just let me know where you're struggling at, and maybe my tips helps you out. Thank you so much guys. Have a nice day. Peace.